So we move on to Air Meta, which is unfortunately one of the Cars shorts, which we ended up having to watch it because it is involved in the collection that we did review. And so, yeah, I mean, like, we didn't really like Cars to begin with in PixMix, and revisiting it now, it just kind of like just reminds me of why I don't like it. It's just, this whole short is basically just made a, Larry the Cable Guy, just kind of like telling a tall story about being in like this the equivalent of the Red Arrows, and so he ends up saying he learned to fly and did all that, and then he makes up all this crap about Lightning McQueen being there too, and it makes absolutely no sense, and dare I say, actually makes the Frozen shorts actually look plausible.
Yeah, so apparently I was wrong. They are some shorts from the Pixar collection that did feature the Cars Toons. So for those who don't know what the Cars Toons series were, it's a series of shorts from Cars that aired on Disney Channel and Disney Junior. There's about 15 of these shorts, and I didn't think that they were going to be a part of the Pixar collection because I mean, I guess maybe with the Toy Story Toons, but here's the thing, is like the Toy Story Toons was not like, shorts that you saw on like Disney Channel or Disney Junior. They were just like separate shorts that you see on DVD or on theatrical releases. So yeah, I guess I was wrong. So here we are talking about this, and wow, I never thought that we were going to be talking not only about Cars, but now we're getting into our first taste of the Planes series.
Yeah, and it was just welcome to hell, wasn't it? Here's the thing about this though. I've not watched Planes. I've heard things about it, and I heard it's not very good at all. And so, wasn't it like the feature that Disney decided to do without Pixar?
Okay,
Yeah.
so for those who don't know what Planes is, so Planes was a separate series from Pixar. They had nothing to do with it. It was done by Disney, and Disney Toon Studios were the ones responsible. So after John Lasseter pulled the plug from doing the direct-to-videos movies, they decided to put in all of their resources into two things: this particular series and Tinkerbell movies, until eventually they're shut down a few years ago. So, yep. Apparently, if we weren't doing Tinkerbell movies, we were doing essentially Cars, but with planes. Yay!
Yeah. So, the whole thing for me about this is that, it's, again, it just kind of reminds me of why I don't particularly feel like the Cars series is superior to any other Pixar film, and why it's so low down on the totem pole for me. Like, it's just Larry the Cable Guy basically telling a tall story. Then you got Owen Wilson over for the ride, and it just combines many things that I just do not like in cinema, and let alone in a short. So basically, it's telling of like how he joined like the equivalent of the Red Arrows, and he's learned to fly and things like that. It's so stupid, I don't really like, Larry the Cable Guy's delivery and all of this. I don't really like, Owen Wilson doesn't sound all that massively interested in it either. And it's just basically him just telling us, a story that's in his head, and something that isn't really, doesn't take the story of the Cars lore any further than it does now. So, I mean, for me, it was probably like, oh, hey, this is probably where planes come from, and okay,
Yeah, and the whole crazy thing about it is that we think it's a story, just very similar to how we saw about like, the ghost light, and the whole thing about like, you have to be careful, you have to see what happens with the ghost light, and you have to keep an eye on it. And then there's this whole thing about like, oh, there's the banshee. So we assume that this was whole tall tales of Mater learning how to fly, and then at the end, it's not. It actually did happen, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm just totally taken out of it. Like, that's the joke, yeah. So, sorry guys, not a winner for us, and I think we'll probably just kind of move on from this, and hopefully there'll be a happier short in the next one.
Yeah. So see everyone.